Today we are going to discuss about the globalization of religion. What is globalization? It is the process of interaction and integration among people, companies, and governments worldwide. Globalization has accelerated since the 18th century due to advances in transportation and communication technology. What is religion? It is a social cultural system of designated behaviors and practices, morals, worldviews, texts, sanctified places, prophecies, ethics, or organizations that relates humanity to supernatural, transcendental, or spiritual elements. The four most known religions across the world are Christianity. It has 2.4 billion. It is based on the life and teachings of Jesus of Nazareth. The Islam has 1.9 billion. There is only one God, Allah, and that Muhammad is a messenger of God. The Hinduism has 1.2 billion. It is the Indian religion and Dharma, or way of life. While the Buddhism has 506 million, it encompasses a variety of traditions, beliefs, and spiritual practices. How does globalization affect religious beliefs? Globalization transforms the generic religion into a world system of competing and conflicting religions. This process of institutional specialization has transformed local, diverse, and fragmented cultural practices into recognizable systems of religion. Since religions have distinct internal structures, their connections to different cultures and their inclusions of different worshiping ways and practices, as the case with Islam and Christianity, contradict and are mostly incompatible with each other. Such religions cannot become hybridized or homogenized, as it is claimed, though they always come in contract. Such religions tend, as a result, to be more inclined toward clashes and competition. Since globalization is said to bring the world cultures, identities, and religions in direct contact with each other and make everything hybrid, the competition and conflicts of religion that it gives rise to constitute a challenge to it and its hybridizing effects. Religion and globalization have always shared a relation of struggle and conflict. Globalization has generally been linked with economic and political interdependence, which ultimately has brought people closer, and effect of no event is isolated, but is felt in far-off places too. It has shifted the cultural build-up of the world and led to formation of a global culture, a common minimum which is accepted by all. Why is religion considered global? Religion is global in that it's related to the global transportation of peoples and of ideas. There is also a third way that religion is global, which might be called the religion of globalization, in which forms of new religion emerge as expressions of new interactive cultures. Religions identify themselves in relation to one another, and they become less rooted in particular places because of diasporas and transnational ties. Globalization refers to the historical process by which all the world's people increasingly come to live in a single social unit. It implicates religion and religions in several ways. From religious or theological perspectives, globalization calls forth religious response and interpretation. Yet, religion and religions have also played important roles in bringing about and characterizing globalization.
The role of globalization in declining religious freedom. We contend that the thriving of alternative value system and culture in a globalized world induce perceived threats to a homogenic religion and its value, cohesiveness, positive distinctiveness, and resources. In turn, the fear of loss of identity and the sense of a disintegrating community lead to a retreat into the religious or cultural group of origin, accompanied by a tendency to become more protective of the group's values and more resistant to the other value system, such as the religions. While some scholars have emphasized the positive contribution of globalization in diffusing ideas of freedom and democracies, others have stressed that existing traditions, values, and identities are increasingly being challenged as a result of growing level of communication and interaction between different societies.
Role of communication medium in globalization on religion. Globalization, due to the advent of communication and transportation technology and the roles played by the media, has contributed to the territorialization and the blurring of geographical spaces and boundaries. This has resulted apparently in making the world a small village where people, cultures, and identities come in daily face-to-face contact with each other. Undoubtedly, religion is not immune from these changes and their burgeoning effects brought about by globalization. However, religions still have their respective homes in specific territorial spaces where they originally appeared and where their respective shrines exist. Information technologies are deemed important means on which religionists rely in the dissemination of their religious ideas. This makes pieces of information and explanations about different religions readily at the disposal of any person regardless of his or her geographical location. In addition, the internet allows people to contact each other worldwide and therefore hold forums and debates that allow religious ideas to spread. The media plays the same important role in the dissemination of religious ideas. In this respect, a lot of TV channels, radio stations, and print media are founded solely for advocating religions. Transportation means, as a technology of globalization as well, have contributed considerably to the emergence, revivalism, and fortification of religion. Globalization technologies, therefore, have helped religions of different forms, for example, fundamentalist and moderate, to cross geographical boundaries and be present everywhere.
Globalization of world religion. What is globalization according to religion's definition? Is the networking and expansion of one's local products, beliefs, and practices into universal product, beliefs, and practices, often through technology, as well as of using transportations by the missionaries who will be disseminating their religious beliefs. What is religion? It is a collection of cultural systems, belief systems, and worldviews that establishes symbols that relate humanity to spirituality and to moral values. Now we're going to tackle the most known religions across the world and what are they. First is Christianity, as the first highest number of adherents around the world. First, the God or the founder, Jesus Christ, or the three persons in one God, Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. And in the book that they are using to disseminate their culture and traditions, Holy Bible. And their adherent, according to the statistics, as of 2020, they have 2.4 billion across the world, including the Protestants, Christian denominations, and Catholicism. For both Western Orthodox and Eastern Catholics have 1.285 billion, specifically in Italy and US. And the people are called Christians, Catholics, or Protestants. And the church called parishes, shrines, basilicas, cathedrals, as well as chapels. Next, the second is Islam, the second highest number of adherents around the world. First, the God or the founder, Allah serves as their God, and Muhammad as their founder. And the book that they are using to disseminate the culture and tradition is Quran. And around the world, according to the statistics, their adherent as of 2020 is around 1.9 billion, and specifically in the Middle East. And the people called are Muslims, and the church called mosque. Next is Hinduism, as the third highest number of adherents across the world. First, the God or the founder. Hinduism has many gods, but they have three principal gods, which is Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, but there was no founder founded. And the book, they have no books that they bought. It could have adopted certain cultural rituals and more believing in philosophies and etc. According to the statistics, as of 2020, their adherents is about 1.2 billion, around the world, and specifically in India. And people are called Hindus, and the church called Mandir or Hindu temple. The next one is Buddhism, as the fourth highest number of adherents around the world. Their god or founder, there is no personal god and only focuses on personal spiritual development. And also, they don't have book that they are using to disseminate, but through the practice and development of morality, meditation, and wisdom. And according to the statistics, as of 2020, their adherents is about 506 million across the world, especially in China, Vietnam, and others. And people are called Buddhists, and the church called temple or monastery. Here are the popular or current religious leaders. First, we have the Christianity, specifically in Catholicism. We have Pope Francis, the new elected and the retired Pope Benedict Emeritus XVI. And we have in Islam, Ahmed Al-Tayyib, the Grand Imam of Al-Azhar. And we also have Dalai Lama of Hinduism, and we have Ramakrishna or Gadadhar Chatterjee of Buddhism, and for the Jewish or Judaism, we have the rabbis or rabbi, or should say high priest. Facts. Religion has entered the information age and has globalized at accelerating rate in the methods religions use for teaching and belief systems. Actually, information age is on how the religions are transforming every decades or every age. Like for example, nowadays, most likely the people are using technologies. Therefore, the religions also transform into the modern age using technologies or new mobile apps, something like that. What is the definition of information age? The so-called information age is gradually spreading its influence to the realm of religions, namely in the methods religious use for teaching, proselytizing, and in belief systems. Particularly noteworthy developments include the fact that it is now possible for any religion to spread beyond national borders, allowing even small new religious movements to engage in overseas proselytization activities and leading to new, hitherto unseen religious developments. This rapid acceleration of the information age is now producing a phenomenon which can be called the globalization of religion. And in my event, it cannot be denied that our information environment has changed drastically over the past 20 years. In the modern age, we also need to transform the tools that we are using to unite the people all over the world on religious basis, like the books. For example, Bible, encyclopedia, religious books, or something that related to religions. Movies, like religious, history, holy, sainthoods, and etc. Cell phone applications, special apps for each or any religion across the world. Social networks, we also use Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Google, Instagram, and also the current trend application, which is TikTok, that most of the users there are using the platform to disseminate their culture. Charity funds can be an orphanage, home for the agents, or etc. Special internet sites, establishing groups and organizations. Endorsements, of course, through media like in television, radio, and also in other sites. Religious schools, propagations, and as well as to the missionaries. Facts, religion epitomizes the definition of globalization due to the fact that it can be spread more efficiently than ever before through the use of different technological tools. Social media communication. Through the use of magazines, newspapers, catalogs, pamphlets, the media like television and radio, social media sites like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Google, and the current trend, TikTok app, podcasts, cell phone apps, and much more. These are included to the tools that religions can use nowadays to spread their belief systems and cultural belief systems.
There are many other socio-economic characteristics that have more significant explanatory power in understanding why conflict and peace occurs than religion does. There are, however, some religious factors that are significantly related to peace, and religion can be the motivator or catalyst for bringing out about peace through ending conflict as well as helping to build strong social cohesion. Furthermore, religion can act as a form of social cohesion, and like membership of other groups, greater involvement in society can strengthen the bonds between citizens, strengthening the bonds of peace.